This is the Refuge Project.
I'm back. It's a hit or miss to the Refuge Project.
Yeah, you are.
And it's a whole lot safer when I'm here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
you know what it is? I got a text message the other day. It was on Sunday, and we were talking about pickleball that last week.
Oh yeah, how awesome!
How awesome you're going to be at it. And David Perez said that you can catch these hands.
Come on, David, let's go
anytime you want,
dude. If I show, you know how embarrassed you're going to be when I show up and beat you, having never played before.
So Luke brought this to my attention. He says, "Can you believe?" And I was just like, yes.
Of course.
I can't believe he said it.
Yep.
And I said, but you better watch out.
You better watch out, dude.
I said, because there's something like weird, like, you know, in competitive things with the Nissans. You know, so... Dude, I said, you just give them a couple games and they're going to be competitive.
I don't even need a couple games. I'm going to beat you the first try. Give me like 3 minutes to just hit the ball against a wall a few times, and I got you. You're done.
So Luke said that this needs to be a live podcast.
Go ahead. Let's go.
It needs to be us commentating and them playing.
Live podcast at Chicken and Pickle.
I think we need to make this happen.
I'm in. I'll do it. And I will intentionally not play until that day, just to make it
we got to figure this out offline.
Okay.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. Hey, and David, and who was the other person y'all said was good? Didn't y'all mention somebody else?
Juan Medina.
Hey, this ain't nothing against you guys.
Y'all better wear a mouthpiece.
But I am planning to destroy you guys. I like both of you guys a lot. But I will destroy you guys just for we were talking about just for the funny earlier.
Yeah.
I'll do it just because it's funny that I'm going to go up and beat you. But I do like you guys, and
wouldn't it be funny if next Olympics they put pickleball there and then you're there and you win gold?
Right. It's up to them.
First try.
It's kind of up to them if they want to be friends afterwards, right?
Look, guys, we are friends. We wouldn't do this if we weren't friends. But I'm going to destroy you, and it'll probably be close, but I will definitely win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need
first try.
We need one more person that can actually play pickleball, so they can be your double.
We could bring Ben, dude.
No,
I don't think he's ever been.
That was the thing. You and Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think Ben's ever played.
But Ben has an old man back.
Oh yeah, that was what you said last night. It's cool, dude. I'll stretch him out before the game. I'll get him.
Good at whatever he does.
I'll get him. Dude, you guys are not ready.
I know
It's going to be ridiculous.
That's what I was trying to tell Luke. I was just like,
dude.
I said, James is my boy and everything. And he's like, I said, did you know James is good at basketball? James can play basketball.
I was the best around.
I said, that's the problem. Y'all don't know.
But that one I actually tried at.
I know.
Because I had nothing else to do as a kid. You just go shoot hoops all day.
I said, did you know Ben was good at basketball?
He was good.
James, the way you play basketball, you're like the white Larry Bird.
You've never seen me play basketball. I haven't played in years. I don't play.
But you're probably right.
Larry Bird is definitely white. Just further. He's like the whitest. He has a blonde mustache.
Right.
He's Larry Bird looks like the bad guy in a Western movie.
Matter of fact, Larry Bird is whiter than James.
Yeah, he's whiter than me. He's like...
Or are you talking like a 1940s gangster? Matter of fact.
Hey,
matter of fact.
Right before the podcast started, I got this notification on my phone that says it was being shipped. And
Amazon?
Another mattress.
I know, no. We'll talk about the mattress. But I know this is not going to surprise y'all any.
Okay.
But I'm getting a little, up there in age.
Right.
And I'm starting to forget things.
Uh-huh.
So I have to have stuff like this on my keys.
This is an AirTag, right?
An AirTag. So
I met you 10 years ago. You're the same way.
I got to have one in my wallet, one on each set of keys, so I can constantly find them all the time.
Put one on your kid.
You're just prepared, and I respect
It's terrible. The one in my wallet, the battery went dead. So I've been looking for my wallet for 2 days.
Hey, honey, you never guess where I found it. It was in my back pocket.
Whoa.
Well, it was actually on the end table. It was just stuck in behind the flower.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You need a place for it. You got a place for it? Where, like, you get home, this is where my wallet goes, this is where my keys go.
So my wife walks into the bedroom yesterday. She goes, can I just explain something to you? I'm like, okay. She says, you see this side of the room? And it's her side. And she goes, this is what the inside of my mind looks like. Nice and neat and clear.
Yeah.
She said, you see your side of the bedroom? She says, this is what the inside of your mind looks like. And I was just like, look, to my defense, everything's in a bucket over here.
Yeah.
And I work out of buckets in my mind.
And you know where it's at.
And I know where every bucket and what's in every bucket.
Yeah.
So to you, it might look messy.
Yeah.
But it's in a bucket.
But you should probably clean the room, though, right?
So put your keys in the bucket.
I don't have a key bucket. That's the key.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need a spot for everything.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
Well, okay. All right. Well, I guess that's that then.
Not good at that.
You say, well, I'm not good at it, so.
We're going to get one of them silver alerts next week.
Yeah.
Where'd he go? I don't know.
Hey, I need to give y'all my license plate. That way y'all can look out for me.
Yeah. We just know the guy with the biggest truck. That's probably David.
Yeah. So there was Eric, shout out to Eric Pirtle. He sent me, there was this big, Ford F-350 or whatever, and the license plate said Pull King. He said, is this you? I was just like, nah, I wish, man. I wish I had that license plate.
You could make that happen.
I could. I had to be like Pull something else, the Pull Queen.
Well,
I don't want to do
I don't
that.
want to do that. They might get a different idea about the pool service.
Yes, queen.
Here comes the pool queen.
Dude, I went to this house yesterday. Oh my goodness. I've been in some pretty nice homes, right? This thing was off the chart. I mean, if you would like it was a millionaire, billionaire, and you was just like, I'm going to do the coolest house I could think of. This is what this guy did.
So definitely money was not an object.
No.
Whatever.
And then I meet the owner. He's like 33.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, I said, listen. I said, I've been to a lot of houses. I said, should I talk to your father or this is your house? He was just like, nah, this is my house. I'm like, I normally don't have these conversations with my customers that, that I meet for the first time. I said, but I have to know, like,
what do you do?
Where are you smuggling in from?
Yeah, like, what is that? How's it work? 'Cause
and he owns a landscaping business, but like not like like he don't mow yards. You know what I mean? He sets up like pergolas and like for millionaires and little koi ponds that have $1,000 fishes and things in it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But he started out mowing lawns, and he just had the mind to
keep going with
to keep expanding. And man,
good for this guy.
yeah, 33 years old and super, super nice guy.
Wow.
How was the pool?
Pool was the pool was nice.
Yeah.
A little small pool, not a big deal. But do you know how hard it is to give just a normal bid to a guy that has everything?
Yeah.
You just think, man, I can bump this up about 30%. You know,
Goodness.
it's hard. But you gotta do it. You know, even though he can afford it, doesn't mean that he should have to pay extra just because.
And
he
people
has
like that appreciate it because they know the they know the business too.
right?
So.
Yeah, for sure. So and they was just like, I didn't even get it in my mouth. Yeah. Just when can you start?
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, look, man, I just want my pool clean.
Yeah, take care of the pool.
You know, I'm like the third pool guy that he's brought in, and he's just like, just keep it, whatever you got to do, just keep it clean. I just want to come home and get in my pool and enjoy my pool. I don't want to worry about it. So
Yeah, that's why he's paying. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. It's crazy.
But isn't that weird that you have to tell somebody in the service industry,
Yeah.
to just do your job?
Yeah, could you just do it? Yeah,
Can you just do
most
your
people
job?
won't do it.
Yeah.
I remember, dude, when I used to have people cut my grass when I was renting places, dude, it was the toughest thing to just get somebody to show up and cut the grass when they said they would. I remember I got all these HOA threats because
Nice.
I'd go online to whatever, I need a lawn care, and then I'd set up a thing with so-and-so, they're going to be there tomorrow at 12 and cut the grass, and then they just don't show up.
That's the problem.
You know what I mean? And then I'd have to do it again. Then I'd say, "Hey, you guys didn't show up yesterday. Oh, sorry. We'll come by tomorrow." Okay.
Because
And
they
then
spoke
don't come.
English.
Well, I don't know, dude.
The good lawn people don't speak
That's
English.
probably what it was, dude.
And they don't take credit cards.
Hey, Mignana, see? Mignana. And they would have done it.
My guy shows up every time.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't miss.
Well, now I do it myself. 'Cause
So, and he'll run my tab up until like $300, and then he'd be like, knock on the door. 3 I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I ain't paid you in a while.
Goodness gracious. You don't even pay him on time?
I'm never home when he cuts.
Yeah.
So he'll normally swing by on a Saturday and pick up his money or something. But yeah, he's there every time.
Yeah.
So I like my lawnman. I don't speak to him, but he just gives me the sign language how much I owe him.
Dude, my weed eater won't start. And I keep putting off messing with it.
I know a small engine mechanic.
Do you really? Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's pretty
I'm
simple.
actually certified in small engines.
Are you really?
Yeah. Well,
Who certified you? What do you mean?
I went to school for it.
Okay, that's cool.
Who does that though? Is there like a governing body of like you are now certified?
No, I mean it's like you go to there. I don't think there's like a governing body, but you actually got the certificate that you've passed the course.
So what if you're not certified?
As long as you can do the work.
Yeah.
Joey Jane.
That's you, bro. That's you. You want me to turn it down? All right.
I gotta take this call.
You gotta disconnect the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
This.
Probably calling about that small engine.
No, but mine's not working, and I keep putting off because every time I go to, it's time to cut the grass, and I need it. Like I need it right then, and it won't start. And then I go, well, I'll just cut the grass, and I just won't edge this week or whatever. And I did that 2 or 3 times in a row, to where it's like I gotta edge it now because
Yeah.
it's getting crazy.
I have one similar situation. Bought it brand new, stopped working. It probably just needs something with a carburetor or whatever.
You just need to clean it. I'm
Right.
sure is
Well,
all I got to do.
But I'm not going to do that. So I just went. I just went and bought another one.
so funny.
I bought a one of those Ryobi 40 volt electric ones.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
So my dad has an electric one now.
It's awesome.
Well, I used it for the first time. I've never used an electric one.
Yeah.
It was weird. But it worked. It definitely didn't have as much power as my gas one.
You got to get the 40 volt.
I think he had the 40 volt.
My next door neighbor has an electric one. Sorry.
It's interesting. But, I mean, it worked. But,
Yeah.
I had to hold it in one place a little longer to make sure.
Yeah, I
it
love
cut.
the electric
It's
weed
fine.
eater.
My neighbor across the street, he has one of those weed eaters that mows the yard itself.
Oh, the robots. Yeah,
Yeah.
those things are like
think that's a
$1,000
weed
for a
eater.
cheap one.
That's not a weed eater then, huh?
It's a lawn robot.
It's a lawn robot. It just comes out like when, I don't know, I guess he has set to a schedule or something.
It's like a puppy.
And that sucker just comes out like a Roomba for your house.
That's pretty wild. Does it do a good job, though?
His lawn's never high.
Well,
And they're just super expensive. Just
mean,
I don't.
This guy has everything.
What is super
You know that
expensive? What
guy
does
in the
that mean?
neighborhood that has everything?
All the toys.
He has like solar panels on his house.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he has all of the...
he's still got a dish up there, too, like a satellite thing. He's still got one of those.
He installs like high-end sound systems. Like, you know, for not just sound
In
systems.
cars or in,
No, in homes.
in homes,
Yeah. He does the whole theater rooms
Yeah.
type deal.
I like that.
But he has all the toys, man. He's always bringing out another toy, riding it down the street or whatever. He's got like 2 Teslas and he's got like his work cars are Cadillac, the Suburban, but the Cadillac one. That's what his people drive around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's doing nice.
Me and Tara went to Parlor Donut off of NASA the
Yeah,
other day.
Got some yesterday.
Never actually been there. We both pass it every now and then. We're like, we got to go one of these. Went there. This
Delicious,
It had it was good.
Amazing.
But right in front, there was somebody who had brought like a tricked out golf cart that they
yeah.
had drove to the Parlor Donut. And I said, well, they must live around here, right? And they bought this just so they could drive to like Parlor Donut and Chick-fil-A that was right there and whatever, buy some overpriced coffee. Anyway, that reminds me of your guy you're talking about. They bought a little. I told Tara, I said, that golf cart probably costs more than this car that I just bought right here.
Yeah,
and they bought it just so they can drive to these little stores from their neighborhood. Because they're not driving that like on the
Those
road.
things are expensive, like $20,000.
Yeah,
It's crazy,
whenever we're driving, with my wife, and that happens. Somebody pulls up with a golf cart. Nothing has to be said anymore. It's one of like my biggest pet peeves on the road, and I'm like,
Are they on the what roads are you talking about?
well, like Clear Lake and some Webster and
Okay,
yeah, those areas
on the main road. Or?
Yeah, because it's and they live in the neighborhoods that are within the.
I don't drive our golf cart on the main road.
Well,
but
you
the
can't
back
unless you
roads I
like
do.
add some.
Nah, but
am I that guy?
I don't know if you're that guy because these are the ones that will go into traffic, right?
Oh no,
and that's
but mine has a license plate.
Yeah.
doesn't matter, right? That's one of my biggest pet peeves on the road, and I'm like, I tell Marina, I just look at her, and she just knows. I say, look at these pretentious fools.
Is that what you think of?
Yeah, and I'm like. Because, like you only bought that golf cart to be seen.
Well, not so much to be seen. It's just like a fun little way to get around the neighborhood, which is fine. But they spent 10, 15 grand on this little little thing.
I hate those more than the slingshots on the road.
Oh, the slingshots I just think are
I don't
stupid.
like slingshot. What I do, I want to rent a slingshot and then drive up in the mountains to go see the president heads. I think that would be a cool trip.
Why
on a
is it
slingshot.
that
Rushmore?
We're gonna get racial real quick.
I'm out.
Oh, I'm in. Let's go, dude.
Why is it? Why is it? Why is
to
it?
get racial?
Why is it that we only see one particular type of ethnicity driving slingshots?
Okay, let me make sure we're talking about the same thing. Let me Google.
Yeah, it's a little.
Is
Like,
it the 3-wheel thing?
Yeah, a little RC car on the road.
Hold up, let me pull it up. Slingshot.
More often than
car.
not, you only see one type of.
I mean, there is a lot of African Americans with LEDs.
No, dude, I feel like I see a lot of.
Come on, but that's like
More often than not.
I mean, but listen, Theo Vaughn said.
Go ahead, say it. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
I better not say anything.
I thought this was a safe place and a safe space.
How much
Yeah,
do these
but
things cost, dude?
Too much.
Yeah, I just always think they're so dumb because it's like
They're probably $30,000.
that's what I'm saying, and it doesn't even have a roof on it. Like you can't drive it.
Yeah, a lot of them on the roads got $30,000 worth of LEDs too.
Yeah, I don't know. It just they seem so stupid to me.
This is what I don't get, and this is not an ethnicity deal
For you.
for me. It's not, but I don't. So there's a particular house in our neighborhood that it's a rental house, and they have a slingshot, they have 2 Mercedes, and then a Harley Davidson that is tricked out. How do you have all that stuff and still written?
Like the people that live there are renting that house.
Renting the house, and they have 2 Mercedes, a
Yeah.
slingshot.
They just decided they wanted to rent. That's all.
Maybe they don't want the responsibility of owning a house.
But do you know how expensive it is to rent in my neighborhood?
Yeah.
Like,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
they're spending close to $5,000 a month.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Because you can imagine, like a regular rent house is $2,500, and that's like a 1,300 square foot home.
Maybe they work in a job where the job, like they came from out of state or something.
No,
They're
there
gonna
is
be stationed there
quite
for
a bit of
while.
those in our neighborhood.
It's probably something like
In
that.
our area,
The
there
job
is
pays to
a
rent the house.
there is a several.
What do you mean those?
What? What did I say?
Go ahead. I don't think you said anything that crazy.
Okay.
I think
In our area, there is
But these are got
there are
something.
several companies that are buying up all the homes.
Yeah.
And then they rent them out, and most of them are people that are moving down here that are like said they have a 2-year stint at the chemical
Yeah.
plant or whatever.
I bet you it's one
And
of
they're-
those
and
kind
they're-
of things.
Their guys are there, so
For sure.
yeah, that might be it. We get a lot of work from those guys because the renters, the companies, they add that onto the rent to make sure the pools and everything are being taken care of. Because what you find out in rent houses, the first thing that they let go if they get in some type of financial issues is the pool.
Oh, yeah. I'm
the
not
yard.
taking care of the pool.
Yeah.
If I'm
That ain't
short
my
of
pool.
gas. Yeah. For sure. I'm not taking care of anything if
I
it's not
said it
my
like that,
house.
but-
That's how I would say it too. I would. Hey, that ain't my pool. Like that.
Poolqueen.com.
Yeah. Holla at your boy. You know, the hardest thing I'm about to do is like go up on prices, man. That's like,
Why you going up? Inflation?
I mean,
Why you going up?
Joe Biden.
What's going on? I'm the customer, right? You're about to go up on my price. Tell me why it's going up.
Well,
and how much is it going up?
I have to read you the email. But the email basically says, you know, you spent $300 on groceries a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everything's going up. So,
You've ever encountered that, James? It's like, why are the fajitas $25 per person now?
Yeah, for sure. Wait, but I don't get it in the pool word. You didn't explain it to me. I'm the customer. I'm not satisfied with everything.
you know, Mr. Jones is like, you know, we're going to have to go up from $200 to $250. Normally, it's normally $25 across the board, but some of them that I've really tried not, like, this is the problem being a pastor and a business owner. Because the only way you can be a pastor is if you have a heart for people.
Yeah.
And that doesn't translate in business very well. So I have some people, when I first bought this company 8 years ago, we were doing pulls for $150 a month.
Okay, yeah.
That's labor, insurance, chemicals, gas, everything for $150, and we going out there every single week.
Yeah.
So my labor is $40 of $150.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't making anything.
Yeah.
Now our price is 7-8 years later is $250. So, but everything has gone up, right?
So like the price of the chemicals going up.
Everything. When I first started, a bucket of chlorine was $99. It's double that now.
Yeah,
So
that'll do it.
and then of course everything. Gas is $3 a gallon. You know, my insurance went from basically double. Car insurance, I've dealt with car insurance lately. All the stuff. And then of course, you know, my guys have gotten raises over the years and different things like that too.
And you've gotten bigger, more established. You have name recognition now, so they're not just buying the actual service. They're buying.
They're buying the pool queen.
Yeah,
Right. And that's the dip. And also there's a huge difference because when we were just starting, I didn't know anything about pools.
Yeah, you did okay.
So I didn't even make money for the first 3 years. Me and myself, I was still working a full-time job. But we were just another pool company. You know, a guy in the backyard. So that's what we were selling. A guy in the backyard with the pole and some chlorine, you know. Now we sell a premium service.
There you go.
So we can charge a little bit more. So I don't know if I answered your question.
You did.
But basically, everything's more expensive.
I'll read the email. Okay,
Yeah, basically everything's more expensive, so your price is going up.
I feel like if you have a pool, you know, like you just can't nickel and dime everything because a pool's expensive.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it, right?
The problem is like, so when we're in our prime, we like 40 something, and you're really, you know, going in your prime of your career, and you decide that you're going to spend $70,000 on a pool, right? And now then 30 years later, kids are moved out. Now you're living on a fixed income, and the pool is just like nobody ever uses it. It's just sucking you dry of money, and you barely have any money. So these people are like, it's tough. And then that's where I come in. I'm just like, I have this heart, and I'm seeing this like 75-year-old dude struggling to pay his prescriptions. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. You know, I'll take care of it. You know, or don't. He's still paying $185 when everybody else is paying $250.
Maybe I'm just mean, but I wouldn't feel bad about it.
But the thing about it is, like, it's not the ones that I don't know. You know, it's not the ones that just I never see. It's the ones that I'm going out and they've been with me. They've been with C&G Pool Service for 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so for 15 years before I even owned the company.
Yeah.
The ones that were there when I didn't know what I was doing, and they were like trying to help me out. Hey, well, such and such used to do that. Okay, let me try that, you know?
Yeah.
So that type of thing. So
That is a good business move, though. That's the business mind. That's how you stay in business.
Right.
You take care of the guest.
So
And the customer.
But they're going to have to be caught up.
Yeah.
You know, we're catching them up
Yeah.
to.
For the ones you know, I get it. The ones you don't know, you made bad financial moves.
Yeah, and shoot, man, that's an extra $4,000 in revenue a month. Like,
David's eyes got real big, y'all.
you know, I can actually hire somebody to help me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if
Absolutely.
anybody wants to make $4,000 a month, holler at me.
Whoa. It's all going to the one guy? Hey. Maybe I got to change your mind.
We'll talk. We'll see
right,
what's going on.
Are we going in the culture corner?
Let me send this email out.
Yeah,
See how many of these customers cancel before I say anything.
Yeah, look out.
What are we doing?
Are we doing culture corner?
Let's go right into
Culture Corner.
I'm just assuming somebody has a culture corner.
I got one. It's okay.
Good.
It's not the best.
Hold on.
Trying to
Let it
remember.
ride. Let it ride. Let it ride.
He's cooking.
Hold on. All right, go ahead.
All right, there it was. I don't know if y'all remember our friend Wally, the emotional support alligator. You guys remember?
I don't remember.
Wally?
For some reason,
Look at this guy. Remember he loves hugs and stuff? Y'all don't remember Wally, the emotional support?
It just looks like a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
Well, it is. Oh no, the page reloaded. Why
The
you gotta
ads.
be like that? Okay, no, there it is.
so
We talked about Wally.
it's been a
Like
minute.
8 or 9 months ago.
Yeah.
What we talked about was the guy that owns him, his name's Joey Henson. Henney? Where is his name? Henney. Joey Henney. That's the owner of Wally.
Okay.
And Wally is the first ever certified emotional support animal.
Did he get a certification?
He got
David
it.
got his
Whatever,
small engines?
whatever the official thing is, he got it. And
Can you
Wally,
imagine getting on the plane?
yeah, dude. It's
Oh, Wally's looking at you like,
I want Samuel L. Jackson on that plane.
gators on a plane. And so the reason we talked about him before, so Wally is internet famous. He's got a bunch of followers on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. And they got invited to a Phillies game. And so the reason we were talking about him initially is because he got invited to the game, but they kicked him out. They're like, "Hey, dude, you can't have a gator here." And the guy was like, "You invited me," and it was a whole stupid thing. But
they
So
they
that-
invited
that-
Wally, but
yeah.
they didn't realize Wally was really
yeah,
Wally.
The headline was
No, he's fine, but crackheads are not allowed. Get out of here.
The headline was something like "Emotional support alligator gets removed from baseball game" or something like that. So that was why we
Oh,
initially.
I'm sure the woke was all over that.
But here's the thing now:
R.I.P. Harambe.
Wally's gone.
Oh, no.
We can't find him. So this is the headline for this one. It says, "Have you seen this emotional support gator? Wally's owner says he's lost in Georgia." So,
Like, how does an alligator get
well, I'll tell you.
just lost?
Somebody stole it from the guy.
No.
They stole Wally.
Oh, Wally eats them.
So somebody stole Wally, and then, well, Wally's not that big. He's a smaller gator. First off, the gator, the guy who owns him, he's a guy who does, what's the word, where you rescue animals and then rehabilitate them. And so that's what the guy does. So he did that for this gator. I don't know what the problem was initially, but he rescues this gator from whatever, and the gator's like 8-9 months old. And then, but the gator in Joe Henney's words, the gator took a real liking to him, and he loves hugs. He never bites at people and all that kind of stuff, and he just loves me, so I ended up keeping him. So that's that guy's story. And the guy's been taking, he'll have it so people take pictures with him, and he's definitely making money off of this gator. Anyway, so now the gator's 8 years old, if I remember right. So he's had him for 7-ish years or so. And so he says some animals rights guy steals the gator in the middle of the night and then releases him to this area where there's 20 other gators known to be living in that area. And so now every day people are out there searching that area trying to find Wally because somebody put him back in the wild. And supposedly they're probably never going to find him. And that's pretty much the end of the story. But he's still looking. Every day he's out there. He's trying. He's got a fundraising thing up, so you can like donate money to the guy to pay for like travel expenses or something like that. Basically, this guy's been making money off of Wally for a while, and he don't want that to stop. Is my view on it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So
but he just says, that's my best friend. It's my emotional support animal. Oh,
so
I
it's
love
his
him so much.
emotional support animal.
His emotional support animal. Yeah.
What would you get to replace Wally?
Dude, you don't. I don't think you replace him.
I mean, it's probably a good move. I mean, ask what is it? What who are they? Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried. Yeah.
Didn't one of them get their head bit off by some kind of wild animal?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
Tiger. Tiger. He got
Tiger?
attacked by a tiger.
Yeah, like live on stage or something.
I don't know if it was Siegfried or Roy.
Maybe
No,
not.
that sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure. I think we've even talked about that before.
Yeah. I don't know. It never
You must
turns
think
out.
of that a lot. If you brought it up before.
It just never works out. It's like that guy that like slept with the bears, and he was just like they're all family, and then
The Bears ate him.
they just got hungry.
Or that lady with the bow constrictor.
Yeah. Or that lady with the chimp.
Listen, I
ripped her
I
face
had
off.
a friend that had a tiger,
Okay.
and
Tiger King. He's in jail.
David used to be friends with Mike Tyson.
no, this is like in like backwoods Channelview. It was pretty redneck. But this dude had a tiger, and they had the fangs taken off, right? So he didn't have the big, but he had teeth, but he didn't have the fangs. And they
Claude?
clawed the front, but he still had back.
Yeah.
This thing was impressive, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you knew he liked to wrestle. And
The guy or the tiger?
the tiger.
Okay.
And you knew when you was wrestling with him,
Did you wrestle a tiger?
yeah, that at any minute,
I'm going to get David a sticker. I wrestled a tiger once.
at any minute,
pool
you
queen.
knew, like, you're not in control.
No, of course not. He's a tiger.
His paws are like this big.
Yeah, he's a tiger. How did they convince you to wrestle a tiger?
Because, like, the tiger was like a house cat, okay? It was just, like, around the house.
David, get in there.
You probably thought you were like a wild wildebeest.
I don't think I've ever told this story.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, a boar.
But no,
I'm getting you a sticker for your truck that says Pool Queen. I wrestled a tiger once.
But you know, when the house cats, they'll come up there and they're like, wow, wow, wow.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
That's what this is. You know, when he was ready to play, it's that piece like, wow, 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 was like, cut. And then he would like try to wrestle you. And then the more you would like try to push him away, he thought you were playing.
I still don't get.
And before you know it, you're like a full blown, like, surviving your life type deal.
Yeah. I still don't get how you got into this situation.
Well, listen to me. Drugs will take you to some weird places.
Okay, so that's how you show up to the trailer. But how do you end up? How do you end up touching paws with the tiger?
Was it a trailer?
Are you sure? You said it was in the backwoods of Channelview. That's trailer parks, dude.
Did you say touching paws?
Yeah. You patting paws with a tiger in the trailer parks of Channelview. Come on. And you said drugs. It was a trailer, dude. There's no way it wasn't a trailer in the woods of Channelview.
Oh, my gosh.
And there's a tiger in the backyard.
If it was a trailer, it would have been so perfect.
There's no way it's not a trailer. Are you sure you didn't say trailer? In my head, for sure, it's a trailer.
No, but if I was on your side, I would have definitely thought it was a trailer.
Okay, so you get there. How do you end up touching the tiger? Like, how did they? They're just like, no, trust me, bro. It's fun. You gotta touch the tiger.
No, we was just all there smoking some weed and.
This is why you don't do drugs, kids. You might you might end up wrestling a tiger.
Just think about it. You're high on weed, and the next thing you know, there's a tiger in the room.
Hey, who brought the tiger?
What's going on with Kenny, bro? He looks different.
Kids
Jeez.
don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do it. You end up in a trailer in Channelview, and there's just exotic animals fighting with you.
It's like, hey, how much you want to bet I could ride that tiger right there?
Now that's another story.
Just
So I had a buddy of mine that had this horse, right? And the horse was...
You had a what?
A horse.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And...
Because that would have been in the trailer, too.
I would.
hey, you know where this neighborhood was actually in your great-grandmother's old neighborhood.
Oh, you're talking Galena Park? You're talking...
What is that over there? It's not Galena Park, but kind of close to that area.
Yeah.
OST or OST.
Okay.
Anyways, this horse was given to him, and he was given to him because nobody could ride it, right? So we're over there, one weekend. This is kind of a little party spot because it was 2 acres of land, and he had a couple other horses on it, and so that's where we just go and hang out. And halfway through the night, we're just like, I bet you I could ride it.
Yeah.
I bet you I.
No,
I bet you
nobody
I
can ride it.
I fought a tiger. I can ride it.
Dude, yeah.
And then my homeboy was just like, I'm telling y'all, please don't this is the last thing we need is have the ambulance having to come here. You know what I mean? And my homeboy was just like, Dave, I think you can ride it. So
I just hyping you up.
Yeah, he was hyping me up. So I tried.
That would have been me.
I would run. I was running, I was I was like James's size back then. And so I would just try to put my hand on the back half of him and then just push myself and get on top.
No, that's not how you ride a horse, dude. You get on from the side.
This horse wasn't letting you get on the side. Okay, this is like a bucking bronco.
Yeah. Well, then you definitely don't go behind it. That's where he bucks.
So here I go. I'll go run and then I go to put my hands down to all of his butt and to try to push myself up there, and the horse just moves over just a little bit.
I like that he sassily didn't let you ride.
Yeah, he didn't even move. He was just so calm and collected. He's just and I hit the ground so hard.
Where'd you land, on your stomach?
Yeah, I just face planted pretty much. Well, my other buddy, he actually got on it. And oh my god,
no saddle, of course.
Oh no saddle, nothing to hold on to.
You gotta grab the mane, but
yeah, these were good ideas back in the day. And
on OST,
that which is Wallaceville and 610 area.
Oh yeah, perfect place for a horse.
My other buddy got on it, and
y'all sure wasn't a crackhead?
He got he got on it, and he got bucked off in the first 2 seconds. Yeah, and he landed back first.
Oh, I've done that.
And I think he took him 15 minutes to catch his breath.
Yeah, dude.
The whole time he's like,
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Well, I mean, it was terrible, but it was super funny.
What happened to the horse?
He never got rode. No,
means he probably got put down.
No, he was there. He was just always
just kept
there.
living in the field.
The glue factory.
Yeah.
Wow,
But,
that's pretty good for the horse. Usually, if you can't be ridden, you can't, you're not useful. You're just done.
Yeah, I think it was more for tax purposes on the land or something. You know what I mean?
So he was useful.
You have to have X amount of livestock to get a tax.
Yeah, no, I
break
get it.
or whatever.
You should have got that horse and fought him against that tiger.
The tiger was cool, man, but you just knew if he wanted to, you're done.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of situations, fights where you have more of them than you, shootouts where you can hear bullets go by your head, but knowing that tiger, that was probably the scariest thing.
Nature's crazy.
But you were having fun, but you know at any minute this could be your last tiger fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Your last tiger fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
First and last.
Anyway, keep your eye out for Wally, guys. He's out there.
In Georgia.
So in Georgia.
In Georgia.
So is there there's not an alligator population in Georgia?
Yeah, that's right by Florida. It's over.
What kind of alert would you get for that? Because they have amber alerts and silver alerts.
I don't know.
Hey, speaking of, I've been speaking of alligators. I've been looking at boats. Right, I want to buy a boat.
Yeah.
I want to buy an old man boat. You know what an old man boat is?
Let's hear it.
Pontoon.
Oh,
pontoon boat.
So you can just put around.
Yeah. So
do regular land activities, but on the water.
Yeah, you can have a grill on it and all that stuff, and it's powered enough to do just some slow tubing and.
You go, guys. We could grill right here, or we could grill over there. Let's do it. Somebody get the ice chest.
So I'm like, once I'm like decided I'm going to do something, I'm all in.
Oh yeah.
You know.
On too.
So I was just like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I need to learn how to like drive a boat.
Yeah, you do. You
So
gotta
I
get a
started
license.
watching all the YouTube videos, right? Well, there's this YouTube that shows all like the fails at the boat dock, right? And bro, I cannot stop watching.
Oh yeah, it's a bad time.
Oh man,
You do it wrong?
It's so good.
You start sliding in the water there.
Dude, so many cars have backed down. So many trucks have backed down into the. Well, there's this one in Florida, in Miami-Dade, Florida. There is a 15-foot American crocodile at the boat dock.
It's a crocodile,
Crocodile.
not a gator.
Nope, not a gator.
Okay.
This thing is huge.
Yeah, 15.
And these cars go in or people slipping. Dude, it's the
He's
funniest
just
thing.
hanging out there.
And he's just hanging out there, and he knows every time that a car, like, I guess he can hear it underwater or whatever, and here he comes just like,
Oh, that's so funny.
because he knows people are going to be in the water.
Yeah.
And the police have to, like, make sure that this crocodile's not around because they have to, like, dive down there and, like, hook onto it to get it pulled out. Bro, it's the most fun I've ever had in my life watching these videos.
What does your family think about your potential pontoon purchase?
Well, with a pitch like, hey, we could eat right here or we could eat on the water. Yeah, they're all in for sure.
Sandra says that I'm having a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Well, she knows that's ridiculous. You missed midlife. You're way past midlife, right?
You started at midlife.
You,
I say that it's not. I don't know if midlife crisis is a thing.
you're just trying to have fun.
I finally can afford to have fun.
Yeah, he's trying to have a
Yeah,
good time.
That's what we call midlife crisis.
Right. She was just like, for all this time, we're going to be like financially responsible. And now,
Buy a boat.
and
I was
that's
just like, well, we just not be able to afford it.
yeah.
You know, because the problem is, this
You
is,
tell her you're raising your prices, it's going to be fine.
this is the problem. We don't finance. Right. So to go buy a boat, the check,
It's a big check.
that hurts.
Yeah.
Right. See the savings account go down by that much. So, you know, you really got to think about it. So it's not one of those things that you just go out and be like, okay, today I'm going to buy a boat.
You really going to use it, though? How many times a year are you actually going to use it?
This is the thing.
Year one versus year two.
This is the thing. Okay.
Yeah. Tell us the thing.
After August, I got it until April, but I don't do a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pontooning is really the first thing
And
that
he
pops
could
in
be
my
By
doing
mind.
it.
myself.
Oh.
Just a Tuesday morning,
Yeah.
pontooning.
You're going to die out there by yourself.
Oh, not on a pontoon. You don't go that fast.
He started the podcast with he lost his keys and he needs an air tag and
Oh,
you
that's
wanna,
true, that's
and
true.
you want to give this man a pontoon?
You know how to
Just-
swim?
I have to air tag the dock.
Do you know how to swim? You know how to swim,
Yeah, I
right?
know how to swim, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you'll be fine. You're not going. Where are you going to go?
I don't, you know.
Well, not with Lyle the crocodile.
That's in Florida. He ain't going to Florida. Come on.
He might end up there. It's an amber. I mean, that's a silver alert.
Take a wrong turn on the San Jacinto River, and next thing you know, you're in the Gulf.
I'm playing the long game.
Okay,
Speaking of the long
that's
game.
my game. So.
Speaking of the long game, if you haven't watched the long game, I think on Netflix, really, really, really good show.
What's the long game?
The long game is about this high school in South Texas, the first Hispanic golfers.
Oh, does it have what's his name in it?
It was a really good show. Yes, that's
Dennis
good.
Quaid?
Yeah, yep.
I think Marina was watching that.
I've seen the cover
Stumbled in.
of it a bunch, but I haven't clicked on it.
It's good. It's a good show.
Okay.
Anyway, the long game is lake house, right? But my thing is, I'm not gonna be able to afford a lake house and then turn around and buy a boat.
Yeah.
So let's buy the boat, and then I'll
And then you
have
get
it.
the house as an accessory to the boat. I like it. Hey, that's a good game. What lake?
I don't know, probably like Livingston. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because
This is a second home?
yes, I know. Something that I can commute, like in the summer, Sandra could be there, and if I need to commute back and forth, a couple hours, not a big deal.
I'm so in for this idea. I love the idea of you having a good time with all your earnings that you've been saving up over the years. I love it so much. Get a boat. You should get a big boat.
No.
You should
Financial responsible.
get a small to
And
medium-sized boat.
this is the other thing. This is the other thing. I have a really good friends, that I'm not going to put their business out there, but we're going to split it. Ooh. And this is why I'm doing it.
You are complicating this plan.
I know I am, but these are really, really good friends.
The lake house too?
Nope. Lake house is mine.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
But you'll rent it out to them for a small fee?
I'll let them stay there for free. I'll let you stay there for free if you want.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is a good plan. I'm telling you, this is a good plan. I've said it from the beginning. This is a good plan.
I'll do you like my buddy does me when I go to Galveston. He's got a couple houses in Galveston. Just pay for the cleaning when you're done. And that's how he makes me stay.
I think you should get a good lake house, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm all in. Okay, but going in with a friend.
So that only has to pay half. That's the only reason. If I had to pay full price for the boat, I wouldn't do it.
And the friend's got the other half sitting around, ready to go.
We're gonna split it. Nobody's.
You already looked at a boat?
Looked at him.
Is the other half the pool king?
Got to add a boat to the kingdom.
They're a great couple, and but we have decided that we want the pool. The stuff that we've been looking at is not exactly what we want. So we're gonna push it off until the first of the year sometime, so we can get the water.
So how is splitting the boat gonna work?
Yeah. Let's get into this.
Okay. Do you know this is like way more popular than I ever thought?
People splitting
Yeah,
boats?
because like when we went to look at it, they were just like, okay, like, are you the only one on the title, or are you splitting this with somebody else? It was like a common thing.
Gotcha.
That people do.
Yeah. Okay.
So
you will never have a falling out with this couple that you're gonna get.
How long you known the couple?
well, this is by the 20 years.
All right, you're safe. That's fine.
20 years, never an issue.
It's fine. You gonna keep the boat at your place?
No.
Or no, it's gonna be at the lake house eventually.
Eventually, probably it's like, I don't know. We'll probably keep it around here. We'll probably store it around here. That way, anybody can just.
What about for holidays? Who gets it?
That's the thing. We've already talked. We've sat down and we've talked
Like
about
a step kid.
I like this idea so much.
I'm the guy that's like, let's have all the conversations up front.
Yeah, you got to.
You know, like, because my thing is like, what if my kids want to use the boat?
Yeah.
That might not be cool with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll set some rules up front. Nobody
The
can use
pontoon is not pontooning anymore. Why you broke it? What do we do?
One of us have to be on the boat. That way everything stays there. And what do you do? So all that stuff is going to be like figured out up front and all the things. So
Contract?
I don't know, man. Might be a good idea.
I think you do whatever you got to do to make
like
this happen, because I think this is a great idea.
See, I think James is like the little white angel on this side. I'm not the red devil angel over here because I really don't care. But it's like I'm more yes than no.
I want you to have a good
I
time.
didn't tell him he could stay for free. That's
Yeah.
You know, it's a bad idea.
I like when people are having fun and having a good time, and I think you will love this boat.
I think that the contract is a good middle ground, and if there's any emotions that come from it, I think that's your telltale sign of we shouldn't do this then.
Yeah, you know what? We did the same thing with my when my folks came and lived with us. Sat down, and then we had to refer back to it a few times. Hey, remember when we first did this? This is their agreement, and pointed it out, and it made things so much easier.
It's like a post-nup.
Yep. So, and I'm that guy. Like, if I have an issue with you, I'm going to come to you and be like, hey, Jay, like, slow down. Slow down on this stuff, or I'm going to punch you in your eye type deal.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, but I wrestled a tiger once, so this wouldn't even be a problem for me. I almost rode a horse, so this isn't.
So I've got experience.
I'm going to need you to comply with these rules. Okay?
I'm certified for small.
I gotcha.
All right, so you don't want to mess with me.
I
can either fix your issues or give you more issues.
It's up to you.
Do we have we're talking about anything today? Oh, I got a song. Listen to this song.
Play us a song.
Wait, one thing that just wanted to briefly mention, so just kind of to timestamp.
Jeremy White.
Jeremy, what you doing, my man?
You got it.
But yeah, so Olympics are done.
Yeah,
and that's
man.
a whole trash fire with all the political side of it. But just wanted to bring up these stats real quick. So the United States and China are tied for the most gold medals this year, this go around.
What's the number?
40 gold medals. The United States overall has more medals than China. We have 126 to their 91, but we're tied with the gold medals. So it was good. I'm going to miss the Olympics. I really did enjoy it. I love watching the Olympics.
I
see any of
did. I watched one flip. No. Take that back. I watched 2 flips.
Gymnastics?
Gymnastics. The girl from Houston,
Biles?
Biles.
Oh, she's from Houston?
She did the
Spring? Yeah.
little horse deal. She was flipping over the horse.
Yeah.
What is it with you and horses today?
What is it called? The little horse. It's called a horse thing, right? That they
know.
run and they hit the thing and flip over.
I know what you're talking about. I have no
Pommel
idea what
horse.
it's called. Is it really called?
That's the guys that do the pommel horse with the
horse.
with the thing where they do like the windmills and stuff on the
Oh, I know
pommel
what you're talking
horse.
about. That's the two.
Yeah. But are they all
Right now, Marina's screaming at me because we watched it. It's vault.
vault? Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
not the pommel horse. That's
She hit the
girls
vault
don't
and
do
she
that.
had the bad ankle or whatever, right? And
Yep.
she still did like the hardest flip ever.
Yeah.
And she like took 3 steps back and still scored more than everybody because this is like she's the only one that could do this.
I think they named that skill after her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She's pretty amazing.
Good for her.
Yeah. That's the only 2 things I watched the
So
whole.
I'm not a basketball guy at all, but the U.S. Basketball team, and it was like LeBron and Steph Curry, and they had the Durant. I mean, they were all there. Right? They took gold, but whenever you get a chance, just go back and look at that last game against France. Man,
I heard Curry had to carry him, right?
Curry was
Dropped 40 on him or something.
He was on one.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not a basketball guy, and I'm looking at that thing, and I'm like, yeah, USA. Yeah, I was really invested. But yeah, they're
It's
doing
because Jesus loves America better.
That's for sure. Definitely.
to all our people that
God bless the USA.
follow
you know?
biblical prophecy. The U.S. is not in the Bible, so there you go.
Well, I mean,
All right.
I'm pretty sure God
Anyway.
loves America, but
Yeah, I mean, to a certain point.
anyway. Well, yeah, no, I didn't watch any of the. I ain't got it.
I'm
I ain't
turn
got
this
it.
down for a second.
Oh goodness gracious! All right, are you scrolling again?
I'm trying to pull this song up, but Theo Vaughn came on, and I was
didn't
just
want to
making.
say it.
I didn't know.
We're gonna
never,
make this-
Never know what Theo Vaughn's going to say.
We're going to make this an explicit episode.
Goodness gracious!
Oh man!
Tell me when it's safe, and I'll put it
All
back
right,
up.
let's go.
All right,
We got a song, King and Country, featuring Lecrae.
I got some battles, I got some issues, I got some problems, I got some trauma, I do. Been through the fire, been through the drama. I got some enemies, can't even see him and they wanna hurt me. But God is a friend of me. I call him Father, he's giving me purpose, he's giving me therapy. Plus he gon' carry me, evil was scaring me, trying to put fear in me. Feel like the planet was running to heresy, clutching for meaning in darkness and perishing. You can embarrass me, kill me and bury me, but I know all of it's just temporarily. Bring on the haters and not as the Pharisees. I know the spirit within me's preparing me.
Rise, reach up for the sky. Your wings were made to fly. This is your time to rise. There's fire in your eyes. You're heaven in disguise. Let this be a battle cry. To hell with the devil. To hell with the devil.
No fear, no fear. I got some fire inside of my bones. Blood is the kerosene, I'm in my zone. Peace to the demons that leave me alone. They want the body but can't get the soul. Trust in the Father and give him control. Say them will smoke, he gon' get it for show. Live by the lake in a fiery home. My peace can't be shook. No, I got a joy that can't be took. I read the end of the story where God get the glory. The enemy, not a good look. Faced all the battles, we ended with scars. Still we be living amongst all the stars. Heaven and earth come together forever and ever. The angels are singing the chorus.
Rise, reach up for the sky. Your wings were made to fly. This is your time to rise. There's fire in your eyes. You're heaven in disguise. Let this be a battle cry. To hell with the devil. To hell with
Right. So the music was done by Stryper. I just Pastor Seeps was like, that's Stryper.
Yeah, that's Stryper. That's the back in the 90s, I think they came out with that song. Yeah, kind of sounded a little Imagine Dragons type.
Yeah,
if he would have jumped the octave in his vocal things, that would have totally been Imagine Dragons.
So what's the secret of doing big songs like they seem to pull off? What
do you mean big songs like anthem rock?
Yeah,
stadium rock.
Everything seems so big, and
you got to be a stadium band. So the Stryper's definitely the way to go.
But King of Country seems to pull that off
with their shows and stuff.
And there's just like 3 of them.
I think there's a few elements there. One is a production element because they have a lot of lights and sounds and dancers and all that. Big drums. You know, the drums are all very big drums. That's yeah.
So, and it's probably easier for them since there's only 3 of them. So they're not expected, like people are not expecting them to play all the music, right? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like as far as like playing with sounds and tracks.
Yeah,
and stuff.
live music. So they could have a bunch of tracks playing and filling in all the area, kind of like what you and Ben do, right?
Yeah.
You're not expected to play every instrument, so they can make it as big as they want to make it.
Mm-hmm. And I think also the songs have to be very chorus type, like an anthem to
he's
sing
like,
it.
Dun, 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 right? That's how he sings.
That is right. Yeah.
That's
exactly right. Yeah.
Right to my brain.
We just got all of that right now.
That is correct.
Yeah, but that you know is I've kind of always had a theological issue with that song from Stryper, but
that's such a Caesar thing.
Well, I mean, because you know, nowhere does it say that the devil is in hell or he's going to hell.
Yeah. Let him know. Hey, Stryper, Caesar got something to say.
So, but it talks about hell. Let's see. Do I challenge that? No.
It says there's a common misconception that people think that Satan, that is Lucifer fallen, right, is now reigning in the pits of hell as the God and King of the pits of hell. And that's not true. Mm-hmm. Whenever he was struck down from glory, he was sent to earth. Whenever he has those conversations with Job, or in Job, when he's having those conversations with God, he still has the ability to go into God's presence and still talk to him. The devil is not confound to what we would refer to as Hades or Sheol or Gehenna, right? Now it does talk about that the devil and his false prophet in the book of Revelation, where they're going to be cast into the lake of fire, but the lake of fire is different from that temporary holding facility. It's not purgatory, but that temporary holding facility, which we commonly call hell. And
now he's getting in the nitty gritty, y'all. He's about to make some of y'all upset.
Here we go.
Temporary holding facility.
Here we go.
For those that die,
for y'all non-temporary people out there,
for those that die under the disobedience and judgment of the Lord. So that
I go straight to hell. I go straight to heaven.
We don't even get our rewards yet for those that are obedient to Christ.
That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says I get all the crowns.
Jesus hasn't even gotten all the rewards yet.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So
that's
anyway,
not what it says.
That's a whole nother thing.
Revelation says.
You know.
What about when back in John? When you remember John said
the blood moons and
I remember.
No.
You know the 7-eyed angel. What the 14?
What about the trumpet, preacher? What about the trumpets?
And all the white horses coming around the mountain.
We're just
you're trying to ride the white horse.
Goodness gracious.
That's also slang for drugs. Riding the white horse. Yes.
Dude, y'all are out of control. I don't even know what's
going on in here. Yeah. Anyway,
just where does Donald Trump fit into all of this? That's what I'm.
Well, his mop top is the eagle that is represented on the dollar.
Yeah.
Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't even like talking about comedians on here because I don't want to push nobody that way.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep it to myself. But oh my gosh, he's so good. Hey, what's the other dude that did Biden?
Adam Ray.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. his ramblings too good. He's hey, look, hey, listen.
He said,
There you go.
who? Hey,
Hey,
who pooped in my pants?
Okay. Nobody knows what's going on now with these references. You don't know. They don't know the reference. You got to bring it back. They don't know the reference.
Anyway, so that's my theological rant for the day.
No, that's fine. That's good. I don't have any issues with that.
I feel like I just had this conversation
About Striper?
about
Everybody's talking about Stripe.
but the whole hell deal, or maybe that was a different life.
Could have been a different life.
Could have been. You know, the people you say you have deja vus because you've been there before, like you actually been there before.
A glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. So maybe this was like when I was a turtle.
An emotional support alligator.
What do you think about the idea that when you dream, you're actually in a different dimension? You guys ever thought about that idea?
I think drugs are a very
think
powerful and irresponsible thing to do.
I
That's what it
think
is?
this is what I think about dreams. I think that dreams can come from a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Why do you have that tiny mallet? That's before you finish your thought. That's
Oh yeah, David's got this gold metal mallet.
This
in
is
here.
so this actually
just
I don't
been
even
sitting on
know
the desk.
why this is even here.
it's like the Keebler.
Caesar asked me before David got in here. He said,
like a
"What do you think he's
Keebler
got this
elf.
for?" I said, "I think he's got this as just like a on the DL weapon to just
This
have."
is actually everything on this table right here. I don't even know where some of this stuff comes from.
He's got
I
fake
see why Sandra's
flowers,
mad at you.
koozies.
All of this stuff right here, besides the the Jesus toys over there, is like part of my childhood.
Wow, the koozies too.
I don't even know where some of this stuff is
You've
coming
been keeping
from.
the koozies from.
So when I was a kid, I walked into this lawyer's office, not lawyer, a CPA, and he had one of those things, right? And it just
The ball thing.
yeah. And so it just one of those
An
things.
image of success that was imparted
Yes.
from early.
Exactly. And then who didn't play with these when they were little?
Yeah,
You know?
the gyroscope
The
or what are they called?
gyroscope. And then the frog that makes the frog noises when you rub his back with
Yeah,
the
it's a
stick.
little frog guio.
And back when I was a kid, we had soda pops that
Yeah,
had
you did.
bottles and
Yeah, you did. He's got all the bottle caps.
and then of course the needle thing that you can make designs with your hand and stuff on the back.
This is great stuff for an audio podcast.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Anyways,
I'm sure.
oh,
everybody's
and
loving
these
it.
little things, I remember these little things when I was a kid. So.
Yep, everybody saw what you
Yeah.
pointed to there. They,
We need to get him some kind
The
of
magnetic little stands that have all the different things on them, you can play with them, and they were all magnetic. Anyways, that's just a representation of my childhood in different ways.
well, that's nice.
And
That's
the
very
hammer, was actually my grandmother's. That that hammer has like other things inside the handle, like
nice. Yeah, I saw it was missing the
screwdrivers.
screw thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I remember her like around her house. That was like her tool bag,
Mm.
and she would just like whenever she needed a screwdriver, she would go get that hammer, or when she was. So
the
that's where-
utility hammer.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's
Yeah.
a nice little hammer too. I
Yep.
like it. I like that it's metal.
Yeah.
like the gold.
Brass.
Yeah, brass. There
Yep.
we go. I like that.
So that if somebody took that, that would be.
Yeah, be bad.
Well, you were swinging it around, and you're like, you know what I think,
Yeah.
and waving it in the air. I'm like, what?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Like he
now.
was a tiny judge.
You had a conversation with somebody that.
Oh, dreams.
Yeah.
Dreams. That's what we're talking about. I think dreams come from a lot of different places. I think that chemically, like what we do to our body causes dreams.
Yeah.
Like foods, if we add different foods. But also, I think it could be
Experiences.
experiences in life, what you watch on television, uncaptured thoughts.
You watch a scary movie and then you have a nightmare.
Yep. But I also think they could be spiritual too. You know,
I think it's both.
I think God has given me probably more direction in dreams than any other way. Any other way. Wow. But it's always been. This is how I know that it's God, because God when I'm like looking at Theo Vaughn and Shane Gillis, I don't never had any good God dreams.
No.
You know what I mean? When I fast from secular stuff and I'm just dialed in and studying and worship music and listening to teachings and anything like that and asking God for information, He downloads it, man.
Yeah.
Then this is how I know that we're fallen people. Why wouldn't I do that more?
Yeah.
Why do I fall back into?
Yeah, not convenient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thinking about boats and stuff, which I think you should.
Yeah,
But,
get into the secular YouTube stuff, and not that it's like terrible or whatever, but it's not spiritual.
Got to prioritize stuff. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't edify my spirit or my body or anything. It edifies my flesh.
Yeah.
And sometimes I like eating donuts.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
He's got a bag of Shipley's on his desk right now.
Well, it's not a bag of Shipley's.
It's a bag. It says Shipley's on it.
That is a bag.
It's hey, Kalachi.
That's a bag. It's in a bag.
I'm not wrong. You're not
The
wrong.
boy act like I got the whole store in the bag.
Say he's got a bag of Shipley's. I don't know.
It's got a sack of donuts.
But I mean, I don't know. I love having dreams. I love dreams. Are like. So, do y'all remember all your dreams?
No, not usually.
I like writing my dreams down because you're going to forget them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or wake up in the middle of the night and leave yourself like a voice memo, and just like, then when you wake up in the morning, you can listen to it, and then you can like start remembering those things.
I don't have a lot of dreams.
Really?
Not at all. That whenever
I'm a dreamer.
so whenever I first got married, I never lived with anybody before, and I was so scared because I didn't know what I was going to say in my sleep.
Oh, you're a talker.
No, I don't know, right?
Oh,
I mean, I'm
okay.
asleep.
Yeah.
But
I was worried about kicking.
you kicking or you being kicked?
Me kicking. I was worried about that.
Because you're a kicker.
Well, I don't know, but I know at some point in my childhood when you take a vacation and you're like sharing a bed with the siblings, I had that told to me before. I was like, oh no.
See, because I was afraid that I was just going to start cussing.
Ooh. Yeah, you probably would. Yeah, just in
When Sandra gets
rolling from
tired,
side to side. Man,
when Sandra gets tired, she speaks in Spanish in her
dreams?
sleeps.
Oh, that's
yeah.
And when she's like, este gringo.
No, she says that when she's awake.
When she's wide awake. Yeah, but since
When she starts speaking Spanish around the house, the kids they disappeared. We're like, oh no,
Who did it? We're talking about spiritual things. I had one very, very powerful spiritual dream event type thing happen. So this was a few years ago, and I wake up in the morning and my wife tells me, "Hey, you were talking in your sleep," and she's a light sleeper. I'm a very heavy sleeper.
I'm very heavy too.
I thought you said a very hairy sleep.
I'm a very
Okay.
No, I'm hairless. But she said, but you were speaking in French. And I've never taken a French class in my life.
Sandra also speaks French.
And she and my wife,
Who doesn't?
she took French in high school, so the words were familiar to her. And I said, "What did I say?" And it apparently had something. It was in French, and it was saying, "Come to the Father's table."
Wow.
It was like a full-on sentence.
You don't remember the dream and stuff?
No,
you
no,
had?
no, I just don't. So, and that's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I've
You
heard,
speaking French is very strange to me.
oui, oui.
Yeah, it's
But I've heard things like that happen to other people. That in the middle of the night they say stuff, they wake up, they're speaking in an unknown tongue, that kind of thing. And that's the first time it's ever happened to me. It completely freaked me out. But yeah, it did happen. So I don't know, maybe somebody in France.
Dude, I used to do horrible things in dreams. Because my thing was, it's usually if I'm having a dream, at some point I realize I'm dreaming. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the guy who can like control the dream, but I would realize I'm dreaming, and then I would just kind of go along with it until things got bad, and then I would wake myself up. So if it turned into a nightmare and now the monster is coming to get me, I would wake myself up right before the monster gets me, right?
Yeah.
But I would kind of just go along with the dream until... So that was always me. But sometimes I would realize I'm dreaming, and I would just kind of do whatever I want because I say it's a dream, it doesn't matter. So, like, I had a dream one time, and I don't remember all the details.
So you're literally, like, consciously...
At some point, I realized, oh, this is a dream. I can't control stuff. Like, some people, I think they call it lucid
such main
dreaming.
character energy.
Yeah. Can I say?
Like, even in my dreams, I'm in control of it.
Well, I'm not in control of it. That's the thing. But I realized, like, oh, this isn't real. It's a dream.
It's like a mushroom trip.
I don't know. It's
Like,
a dream.
just go with it, bro.
Well,
just go with it.
Well, listen.
Ride the tiger. Go.
Listen, so, like, I would have things where, like, so I'm dreaming, I realize I'm a dream, and maybe somebody does something bad to me, and so I would just beat them up in the dream, because I go, it's a dream, I can punch you in the face, it doesn't matter. Or maybe there's a bat there, and I would just...
I've never been able to fight in a dream. It's just like...
Well, it would go back, yeah. So at some point, that stuff would happen, and then you just got to wake yourself up.
Yeah.
I had one where, this sounds bad.
Why is that?
I don't know. Well, this is what I'm saying. So I have all these experiences, right? And I got to where I was just like, I can do whatever, doesn't matter, until I wake up, right? And then one time, I don't remember what was going on exactly, but I remember I realized I'm dreaming, and I started doing something that I would never do in real life that was very much bad, whatever it was. I don't remember if I was like fighting somebody or what, but it was definitely something I should not have been doing. And the other people in the dream were like, hey, dude, it matters what you do here. You got to stop that. And then I woke up, and I was like, what is that?
Whoa.
Maybe we are in a simulation.
And I don't know. But I definitely think a lot of dreams are just, they're just that. They're just dreams that you have because you experience something. You watch a scary movie, so you dream about a monster trying to get you.
You all are married men. You ever been in a place to where your wife had a dream where you did something against her that she didn't like, and then she woke up and she was mad all day?
Dude.
Well,
not usually, but I know she's...
Well,
she will wake up and look at me and be like, what? I had this horrible dream. It was so bad. And then you have to, like, console her.
Okay, so I'm the
because
sensitive
of it.
one?
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Oh.
I've done it before.
You hold it against her?
Not that I'm mad. I'm just like, I can't believe you did that in my dream. You know,
dude, I had a dream that she left me once.
She goes, it wasn't me. I'm
She left you for the guy at the slingshot?
I have lots of dreams. Like, I have lots of dreams.
So-and-so has a tiger.
I dream about my wife a lot. Actually, I dreamed about my wife last night.
All right, let's go.
Nope.
So,
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I'm not going to talk about it.
So, my wife had a dream that I cheated on her in the dream, and she was mad at me the whole day. And this was a couple years ago. And I'm like, what did I do? And she says, well, I had a dream.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's you. That's a you problem, honey. I know you listen. That was a you problem.
We had an incident in our marriage one time that Sandra, the enemy convinced Sandra, and I don't know.
You don't have to say it.
Use code names.
It's already out there. The enemy convinced Sandra that she's seen something on my phone that wasn't there.
In a dream?
No, in reality.
Okay, gotcha.
And man, it took a toll on our marriage for a while because I was just like, "Here's my phone, like find it," you know. And she couldn't find it, and Sandra is like very, 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 very like. There's a few people in my life that are like super intelligent, and for whatever reason, I feel that about you, Pastor Caesar. Is like I feel like you're like a super intelligent person. I don't know why, I just feel that way. Not that I know anything about your education or anything, but I just have a feeling there's people around us that are super intelligent. But Sandra's one of those, and so she's like doing the research. And she's thinking like not she's thinking, she's convinced. The enemy has convinced her that I'm doing something I'm not, and I've been. Listen, man, I've been a sorry person in our relationship. But the one thing that I have not been is a cheater, right? Like emotional, physical, I'm not that guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'll never, because that's when you get yourself in trouble. But that's not me. Like if I was a woman, I would be the woman that would stay in an abusive relationship. You know what I mean? Just because, like,
I know what you mean.
It's so easier. It's easier to be abused than to move on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the enemy had convinced her, and she even thought like I was having like hidden. You've seen the hidden apps, right? Like it says the Holy Bible, but when you like you go in there, it's like
Something else,
it's
yeah.
some like
I didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah, there's
you
a
gotta
thing.
get on, man.
And
Some of the listeners really.
and like you can like change the way the app looks on the outside, but the inside is something different. So it was a difficult time in our marriage, and I don't even know why I brought that up, but just how powerful the enemy can be.
Yeah.
Just by thinking, like looking over and just seeing something that you thought might be something, and not really be it. And,
Well, the Bible tells us, right, that it said that we are to avoid the very appearance of evil,
Right.
and that's a tough one to. It's like but that's not even an issue of where like some people are like, well, I'm kind of just like writing the line on some of my decisions that I make. No, the Bible is very specific. Like, don't even approach that line. Don't give anybody even a reason to think otherwise. That's a lot to live up to.
yeah. And and to this day, I don't have. Well, I have Twitter and I have Instagram, but I don't have them on my phone. I have a Facebook. My Facebook thinks I'm a Hispanic woman.
Nice.
Because
The Pole Queen.
Because Sandra's the only one that looks at my Facebook, so it's like all these
the algorithm.
cake decorating and different things like that. You know,
Holly recipe.
yeah. Just because, man, I feel like I deserve to give my wife the most honest. Not to say that doing social media, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do social media, but for me and my relationship, I'm trying to give my wife the most honest husband that she can have.
Yeah, because we've seen it over and over. Whenever trust gets attacked, and then there are chinks in that armor, to build back that trust, especially with somebody that is so close.
Yeah.
Some couples never get it. They never get it back.
And the thing about it is, it's not just what I've done. It's her experience with her father, right? So now she's bringing history into our relationship, and then what I've done on top. Just because you're not unfaithful with a woman doesn't mean that you have been unfaithful. That you haven't been unfaithful in your marriage. I was very unfaithful with my friends towards my wife. I'd lied and said where I was going. I'd lied and said what we were doing together. We wasn't playing golf, or we wasn't at that where we were supposed to be. It's a untrusted relationship. It doesn't matter if it was a guy or a girl. It was an untrusted relationship. But so I don't.
Well, no, and it doesn't even have to be a person, right? We could be negligent in our relationships with our spouses, with our friends, with people that matter to us, our loved ones. Whenever we replace it with something that has good virtue, like church.
I was reading an article. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off,
you're
but I was
good.
reading an article about being healthy, how to be healthy in an unhealthy church, especially for pastors, right? When you're dealing with so much unhealthiness, because they'd say, "Where's the most sick? We're the people that are the most sick in a hospital." So what do doctors and nurses and things have to do in their life to make sure they stay healthy? And basically, that's what the article was. So how does a pastor do that when he's dealing with so many unhealthy people?
Yeah. We've taken some classes, and we talked to some people that have been doing that kind of like they've tried to implement those kind of rhythms of grace in their life, right? Where they're able to unload certain things, get a pontoon boat, go out there for a while, right? But this one guy, it was really interesting because he says, yeah, I take a sabbatical pick whatever day of the week it was, and he said he did not live in Texas. Over here, flatland mostly. He lived in a place that had mountains, so he said, yeah, I just go and trek. So I took 8 hours and went and just did a mountain climb, so that rubbed me the wrong way because one. I just don't think it's feasible for most people, especially pastors or people in ministry in general, right? We don't have mountains to do that, but then only somebody that's in a full-time posture can do that, maybe.
Right.
But if you have a senior pastor like us that isn't a full-time posture like that, you're never going to catch him doing that.
Right.
So I remember asking him, I said, hey, this is really rubbing me the wrong way because I feel like if I'm not practicing as some sort of Sabbath to this degree, I feel like I'm just maybe not, I'm failing in I don't know what the proper tenth tense is, but I'm failing in Sabbath. But I asked him, I said, well, whenever you were in my position, right, as far as a minister, a dad to young children, that kind of time frame, right? Was it even possible for you to take that kind of time to invest in yourself and God that way? And he just looked at me and said, it wasn't for me. He said that I get why they say those things. It's a good thing to try to practice those, but it's just not feasible.
Yeah.
You know?
I think especially with depending on who you are, like Pastor Mark is not going to take a Sabbath for himself. You know what I mean? He's going to find something to fill that with.
Yeah.
So for him, like, he's going to fill it with what he loves, and that's this church. You know what I mean? So I do think when we look at it, a lot of failures with pastors, maybe we don't take enough Sabbath.
No, and I agree.
Maybe we don't take enough.
Yeah, what was the solution in that?
Well, there is no solution.
Oh, okay.
But you're right. I mean, you know, me and you've been bivocational for our whole ministry. It's when.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this would be the thing. Either I'm going to be a father and a husband, or I'm going to take the Sabbath. Because I can take the time off of the church, but I still got a family at home.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the most important. So the time I'm going to take off of Sabbath, I'm going to give to them. And I guess that could be Sabbath.
And then we got into that discussion, right? Like, well, what is a biblical Sabbath? We just to kind of give you the strained version of it all. Whenever God rested, a lot of people think that means that he ceased from working and he stopped or fell asleep or whatever, and that's not what it means. To practice the Sabbath, at least according to what my view on it is that when God rested, that means he rested from creating, but he enjoyed the creation which he made, and that's how we practice Sabbath. Pontoon boats. So that's why I said I don't have a dog in the fight, because I actually do love that idea. If you could find something to rest in God's creation, and I think that's where Christianity, especially whenever the more fundamental side of Christianity, you can't go on vacations, you can't do this. A preacher doesn't retire. You retire when you die, right? That kind of thing. But I saw that with my first pastor. He pastored for 20 years before he died, and he had never taken a family vacation up until the last month or so of him being on this earth. And he said, man, he knew that was wrong. Yeah.
And you see it with Jesus, right? When the Jewish people were like, "Hey, you can't do that," Jesus is like, "Hold on, like we might be supposed to be resting, but hey, they need attention right now. So do you just let somebody drown because you're not on duty, lifeguard?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that we all have responsibilities, even though that we're not on duty.
Yeah, and just finding those moments that throughout the day where you can enjoy God's creation, right? Yeah. And that, so if that means going and getting a whole mess of nachos, and then you can sit down and just clear your head that way. Hey, why not? So see, I've never taken the Dave Ramsey thing. I know you and Sandra, y'all live by that, or at least did, to get out, and it has so much benefits. I do agree with all that, but
it's hard to live forever off of Dave Ramsey. It's an excellent program to get you out of debt.
Yeah, but I'm that type of guy that says, man, a plate of tacos really sounds good right now. It's like, but it's not in the budget. It's like, no, this needs to happen right now, because it's not really about the tacos.
Yeah.
Though those are always fun to eat, right? But it's not really about the tacos. It's not really about the coffee that is a $4 or $5 cup of coffee. Yeah.
What did Kingsley say? It's not about the coffee.
Yeah. He said that. Yeah. It's not about that at all. It's about that time, and just a time to get away, and then more often than lately, I've just been on this kick now where, we all have goals. We all have our short-term plans and long-term plans. We all have an idea of where we want to end up, but just really more than anything, the way that I'm living my life right now is that it's the destination is starting to matter so much less. And it's all has to deal with the journey, getting there, who you get there with, and how you get there.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, like even like these podcasts, right? I mean, this is one of those moments that I look at that it's like, man, whenever that final day is, whenever we go home and see the Lord and all that, I'm gonna remember these times and like it's special, yeah. Even though we talk about, you know, not much sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's being able to live life with each other and knowing that this is one of those interactions, God ordained interactions, and there's fruit that's gonna come, and fruit has already come out of this, you know, in so many different other areas of life.
Right.
But yeah, it's just so much less about the destination and how you get there.
I've got the ability to do life twice, and I know we talk about coming back as in a different world, but I've had two sets of kids.
Yeah.
And you know, the first set of kids, I was the dad. Like, I don't care how long you sit there, you're eating your broccoli. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then now that I have the second set, you know, because my kids are your age, my first set, and then now I have, you know, an 18-year-old and a 12-year-old at home, and I'm just like, man, is it worth it?
Yeah, Wagyu all day.
Is it really worth me yelling at my kid over some broccoli? Because you know what? I didn't like broccoli when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I eat broccoli now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't, at Luby's. And it wasn't because my parents forced it down my throat.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not worth it. And this is what changed everything for me. When Luke, which is now 18, he was probably 6. And I was still that same father. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You're going to do this, you're going to do this. And Luke's such a gentle soul that Luke didn't need me to yell at him. He just needed me to let him know, hey, man, this is the right thing to do. Yeah. And if it's the right thing to do, he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know? And so he told me, and this is when I was a youth pastor, just really trying to figure out what a youth pastor was supposed to do. Now I'm a youth pastor. I don't know how to be a youth pastor, you know. Still working 50 hours a week, doing, you know, youth pastoring 20, 30 hours a week. Mm-hmm. He's like, Dad, you got time for church, you got time for work, but you ain't got time for me. Mm-hmm. Coming from a 6-year-old, you know, it broke my heart. But it made me look at life different and maybe just really just like you in ministry. And I even brought this up when we had one of our leadership meetings. You know, this is the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be God, family, ministry, no. My question, and I'm a pastor at this church that I'm questioning, is if you fill the calendar with so much stuff, how am I supposed to keep the first two in balance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody can ever answer those questions, right? So you have to answer those questions in your own life.
Yeah.
You have to be the one that decides, hey, I can't come to the full calendar.
Yeah.
This is the ones I'm going to pick. These are the ones I think is important for me to be there. But if you say that my family and God is the most important, then that's where I'm going to start.
Yeah.
You know, and I decided that's going to live my life that way. Which I know the third ministry and all that it's a close first and second. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like God, family, and the ministry way back down here. No, they're all bunched up and really close together.
They all, like you said, they all work together.
Yeah.
They all work with one another, and people will be able to see the evidence of God in each one of those other things, right? I think that's why it's so important whenever Paul is talking to Timothy about, you know, hey, anybody that's going to be a leader or whatever, make sure that they take care of what they need to take care of at the house first. Because how do people... how can a leader have his house in shambles and then expect to be efficient and effective in church? I love looking at church dynamics, right? And because there's this principle that's just written out throughout the entire Bible, but even before any word was ever penned, it's kind of in God's mind and the way He does it, of this theme and concept of kind begets kind. And when you look at that in the context of a church, that a certain type of leader is going to attract other leaders, and those leaders are going to bring in a certain type of people, a certain type of crowd, to where we all have these intersecting lines of where we get each other. But in a very kind of high level view of this, we look at who our senior pastor is. And you said it earlier. He will never find a time to rest because that's not who he is.
There's not a person that's going to outwork our pastor.
No. And I see strings. I see strings of that in everybody that's called here in leadership, and not just people that hold a title here, but the people that are the movers and shakers of this church.
Yeah.
Right. We all share a similar intersecting line with that. Because that kind of leadership speaks out to our personalities, who God made us to be. So I think if you are in one of these churches where the senior leadership actively practices and pushes for sabbatical type things, then it'll be a little more easier for everybody that's under that hierarchy there to be able to start incorporating that in their life. But it does have to come from the top, and that's not to say, well, we're doing it wrong. I just, because I wouldn't know what to do with myself either. Yeah. Whenever one thing stops, jump on something else because it has to be done too.
Yeah, but he does take, he is for sure a hard worker and works all the time stuff, but he definitely takes, like, he has that property up in the country that he likes to go to.
Yeah. More now than he's ever done before.
Yeah, he's doing that. He's got grandkids now, he likes to hang out with and all. So it's not like he's just go.
But it's only the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. How is Theo?
6.
Yeah. There's probably a line there somewhere where he's started like looking at life a little bit different as a grandfather.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But there's a balance with everything. Everything I was talking about, like there's a balance. There's a time and place to kind of lean into one side more than the other. There's a time to just work hard because that's what needs to be done, and there's a time to rest and chill because that's also what needs to be done.
And we've talked about that before, right? The amount of self-awareness that a person needs is incredible. You need the Holy Spirit to let you know that, because
or a wife
because like a lot of other things, we don't want to give stuff up. Yeah. We feel like the people that are coming behind us are incapable, and you know what? They show themselves incapable, so that doesn't help either. But that's their journey, that's their walk, and God will teach them something through their ignorance, just like He did all of us, right? But that's just so hard, right? I had a really good question yesterday come to me. It was a guy that is he in the youth group. He's a senior this year, and he said, "Pastor, I'm about to go into my first day of my last year of high school. You have any just general wisdom for the year?" And let me see if I can pull it up. But first of all, I really did appreciate
just a good question. It's from a young person.
It's a great question. I think he just turned 18, and so this is what I told him. And let me just read it. I said, first, congrats.
There you go.
I'm proud of you. Right. That's. I think that's the biggest thing I wanted to communicate. I'm proud of you. It isn't a big ordeal to get there.
You said he's going into senior year of high school.
He's going into senior year of high school, and then I said 2, don't take on more work than you need to. Yeah. And this is I'm drawing from my own experience. Why are you gonna be stressing so much about an AP exam at the end of the year that you're not even planning to take, but you're taking the whole class anyway? Why do that? It means nothing. Nobody cares. Right?
No wonder Luke took the second semester off of his senior year.
I always said
that's him. That's all him. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
He's like, my scores are already in. I don't really have to do all this,
dude. I said senior year should either be a jump start on college, so you're working really hard and you jump start on college, or if you're not doing that for whatever reason, it should be the easiest year of your life. It shouldn't be in the middle, just working hard for nothing.
No, I agree.
That was always my thought. 3. Take all the AP classes if you're going to, but
only if it's going to mean something.
Right.
3. Even when in college you have 2 years to declare a major, don't let the hopes and dreams of others make you feel less about yourself because you don't have a clear direction yet.
I think that's super important.
Another good one. Yeah. We've talked about that a bunch on here.
Got 3 more, and they're quick. Most of the people you graduate with, you will never see again. Yeah. You have nothing to lose by being a positive influence for Jesus for them.
Yeah,
that's good.
5, stay faithful to your calling. And he knows what that means. And 6, you will be remembered by your good works and your humility.
True.
Okay. How many friends are you still active in their life from high school?
None.
At least 2,
It's very rare.
less than 10 for sure.
There's one that I have one interaction with maybe once a year.
I have mine's kind of weird. I interact with them, but I'm not active in their life. Only because my best friend growing up married my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll do it.
So my kids are a part of that family, right? So we interact at certain birthday parties or anything, but not.
Is it weird? Has it ever been weird?
It's always weird. Only because I love the dude. Mm-hmm. You know, we've been through a lot together. I mean, a lot. You know, like when you're in the world, there's still like a spiritual realm thing, and I don't know how to explain it. So spiritually, we're connected in the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because we were brothers.
Yeah.
And we did everything together, and we produced so much sin together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there's a heavy connection there, but there's also some hate. Hate in not the hate way. There's some, I guess, there used to be hate. Now it's brokenness.
Yeah, yeah.
If that's the best way, because I don't hate them.
Yeah.
You know.
If anything, that just reinforces how alike you were because y'all had the same like for the same woman.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's crazy because I can see it. Like my ex-wife, she was super cool. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But that's not the calling that God had on my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was a different world than the calling and I chose the calling over a marriage.
Yeah.
So I didn't know it at the time, but I knew that God had something greater. So yeah, that whole thing was kind of weird, but yeah, that's the only one. I mean, I don't think I even talked to anybody else besides that.
Yeah. See,
I probably got like 4, maybe 5 that I like regularly.
That's really good.
Somewhat regularly
that's a lot.
talk to,
That's a
and then
lot.
I've got another handful that like every
That
few
cross
months
paths.
will say something.
Yeah.
You know. But,
but for the majority of people, I think it's 1, 2, maybe.
Yeah. 2 is like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure you experienced this a lot as well. Whenever you had kids asking you about advice, and they were going in through their high school experience. But that is one statement that every single senior has never liked. That I tell them. The people that you're going to graduate with, your friend group right now is going to dwindle.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And not us. Now, Micah, which we've had on this podcast, I always point to him because he was the one that gave me like the most backlash from that. Not me and my friend group, not me and then now it's like 2.
Yeah. I look at Luke and his friend group. He's got a really tight friend group, and it is cool because like 2 of them are really good Christians. They're high school kids, so they do what they do, but they're him and he's got another guy that's just like him, got a good family at home, takes him to church every week, when midweek services, all the things. And then he's got 2 that one probably doesn't believe in God at all, doesn't have a mother, kind of a strange. His dad actually wrote The Matrix, and I think we've talked about that before. So they're in a lawsuit over
that's cool.
The writing of The Matrix
with the Wachowski brothers.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty sweet.
And the other one's just a real and all of them are like super, super smart kids. And that's kind of where they all connect with. It's this
intellect.
Smart kids. And the other one is just like, comes from a very intellect family, and I think 2 of them are going off to college.
Yeah.
The other 2 are going to local colleges. And I think like, I talked to him, I said, hey, Bubba, I was like, you got to make the choice. Like, friendships go 2 directions. If you want these people in your life, like you have to make efforts.
Put in the work. Yeah, put in the work.
Yes.
The efforts. And that's like me and Calvin. Me and Calvin hardly ever, besides at church, see each other anymore. But if it wasn't for the phone calls back and forth, it wasn't for him to just, I'm going to text him here in a little bit. Just the short text, hey man, love you.
Yeah.
That's it. because we built the relationship, that he is my best friend, just because we don't see each other as much as we would like. But you still have to put in that work, you know? And so it's kind of curious to see, like, now, because this is where it happens, right? Right out of high school, people go off to college, and then they find themselves. So it's kind of interested to see, like, what the rest of the life brings, you know?
Yeah, how they develop.
It's right here in front of us now.
Yeah, Kingsley made a great statement this last Sunday. He's a guest preacher that we had here, and he said that whenever you get squeezed, what's in your heart is going to come out. And
Jesus is up to no good.
Yeah.
That was good.
KNOW.
Yeah, that's the kind of, I was just like, that's the kind of stuff that I like.
I was sitting behind you, and I was like, I saw you here. Whenever the screen popped out with the words.
I was talking to Sandra.
And I was like, oh, David.
Dad's loving this one.
Just needs a prop. But
It's like an emotional support crocodile. Alligator. No, but so as far as that young man's question and stuff, I think I wanted to come in here and ask questions, but I know we're kind of already running on time over here. But it's how much of what of the advice that we had, or the wisdom that we had at the time of high school, how much of that have we taken into our adulthood? How has it informed our adulthood in a positive or in a negative way? Are there things that you're still healing from? Are there things that you wish that regrets and shame? Because I see that over here on Sunday mornings, where you have these adults over here. They're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and upward, right? How much of what they're dealing with is a result, stems from this broken mentality that they had whenever they were teenagers, and then they lived out that method of going through life in their 20s and 30s, and it ruined their life. It ruined their relationship with their kids. Their marriage probably didn't even stand a chance.
Don't get me started on this. This could be a whole podcast on itself.
Well, yeah.
And I want to say this about that. It drives me nuts when I hear this. I don't regret nothing that made me who I am today. Man,
I regret a whole bunch.
Listen, if I said that to my wife, I don't regret nothing.
Oh man,
you deserve the way I treated you all those years. It made me who I am today.
It made you a better wife.
I'm just, come on, dude. Like, listen, that's why you're broke, and you're still broke.
Come on.
Because you don't regret it. Hey, let's learn from let's have some regrets in our life. Let's say, okay, yes, I do regret that. Now let's start the healing. Mm-hmm. That's why they say broken people, no, how's it go?
Hurt people.
Hurt people, heal people, right? Because somebody's done the work. Somebody's realized that there were some regrets in their life, and then they did the work to get healed.
It may be a topic for another podcast. I know that we'll get into that, but I see certain, and I'm turning 37 next month, right? And I still, no, not even still. I have just begun the work, the emotional work necessary to start looking at everything that's under the iceberg, right? Right, or the water line. We've all seen the thing where the iceberg, and most of the iceberg is under the water. I have just begun doing some of that deep emotional work that most people will never do. Most people will try to justify it, sweep it under the rug in some kind of way, because now there's a lot of healing that has taken place, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. It's not like resentment, or it's not that this past anger that needs to be healed. I believe all of that has been healed. But now going back and tracing back in my life, these small areas, these small moments in time when maybe some external factor did something to me, and it affected the way that I see reality and why I talk to my son the way that I do, why I have preferences one over the other, or just my general thoughts on life in general, and really putting that up. See, but that's just the first part. The second part is that it has to stand the scrutiny of Scripture. Mm-hmm. You have to put it and look at it with Jesus filtered eyes on it, and allow yourself to course correct.
Yeah, and this is the great thing about that, because I've done a lot of that over the last 25 years. 20 years. First 5 of our years, Sandra and I, marriage was rough. But I'm taking the last 20 years and really taking a deep dive into who I am and why I am that way, and try to course correct those things. And this is the freedom in it. All the things that all the ugliness that you don't want to talk about, once you fix those, once the healing happens, it frees you in a way that you can talk about them.
Right.
And people were just like, they always tell me, like, Pastor, how come you're like so open and honest about everything? Because listen, man, I've looked at this already. It's not ugly to me no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can talk about it because I'm healed from it. When we can't talk about it, it means because it still hurts. We don't want to talk about it no more. Yeah. And it gives you that freeness, that to be able to speak to your wife about certain things, to be able to speak to others, because you're not going to hurt while you talk to somebody to help them work through theirs. Yeah. Right? And it makes you more effective in ministry, more effective friend, more effective husband, wife, whoever you are, to be able to look at your past and the things that you went through, and to be able to freely talk about them, because you've already done the work to heal it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it's been really good for me.
So before we get out of here, I want to leave our listeners with a real helpful tip if you want to get started on this journey as well. And this is something that I learned from somebody else. It's not developed by me, but it is very helpful. Go to 2 or 3 people, the closest people in your life, the ones that you can trust. It can be a spouse, it could be a best friend, whatever, that you just trust, and ask them the question, how do you know when I am anxious? And don't respond. Don't respond back. Just take it with a smile, mind your face, and ask them the question, how do you know whenever I'm anxious? And then write it down, and then look at it, pray about it, and see where those are. Is there any element of truth that what they're talking about here? But don't say anything back to them. Well, I wouldn't act that way if you were. No, that's not what it's for. This is about you and you wanting to better yourself.
You know, it's so good that Sandra can identify when I'm anxious before I know it. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm just like, "No, it's just like, what's going on?" And then, she'll be able to, me and her have a conversation, and she's like digging in and trying to figure it out, and I'm just like, man, you're right. Like, I'm stressing out about this, and like, because I have so much up here that I'm dealing with moment to moment. Yeah. That I'm not giving it the time that it needs.
Yeah,
right?
And this guy that wrote that, I think he's a doctor or something like that as well. But he said that your body will let you know that you're stressed and anxious way before your mind is ever even informed. So there's triggers that your body shows. There's a tensing in your muscles. There's a certain nod or a nervous tick. Wow. But we get to this place to where we know we're suffering whenever it's like, hey, my blood pressure is, but that's already way past, way past. But if you can identify these triggers early on, just like what you're talking about with Sandra, you can address the problem. And how helpful would that be? Because how many conversations are we in on a weekly basis whenever one thing became another thing and it snowballed and it became a gigantic thing? If they would just have addressed the issue, the small little issue that it was at the time before it was this gigantic, boulder of a situation.
Yeah, you got to pay a lot of attention, and it's a really difficult thing for most people.
Some people have dogs. Some people have alligators.
Tigers.
I have a Sandra.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and we love you.
This is The Refuge Project.